Osa wrenched out of Brenna's gasp. "There's no time for that. Help me into my brynja." Grumbling, Brenna hefted the chainmail shirt over her mistress's head. Osa braced herself as the heavy rings cascaded down her torso. She had spent all winter in the smithy, painstakingly forging each link, and hours practicing to get used to the weight of it. Now she was donning it for battle. Gritting her teeth, she held still while Brenna settled the helmet over her hair. Finally, Brenna held out Osa's sword. Forged by Ulf, their smith, lightning was smaller than wolfbane, but every bit as sharp. She snatched it from Brenna's hand and slashed the blade through the air. "We're ready for them." Gerd eyed her sourly. "You look like a lad. You've 15 winters now. You should dress like a lady." "Make me." Osa glared at her brother. He scowled, and she could see he was about to press the issue when their father strode in. "Stay in the back row," Gerd muttered. Harald towered over his men, chainmail and helm gleaming, greatsword swinging from his belt in its rune-carved scabbard. He looked like a warlord. He sounded like one. "Form up," he bellowed. The Huskarlar fell in behind their king and stormed out of the hall's great entry doors. Herald's sworn men flanked their king, shields poised to lock in a defensive wall at his command. Osa shoved her way in beside her father, jutting her chin at Gerd's frown. Next came the archers, bows in hand, quivers of arrows over their shoulders. Behind them, the common folk gathered, armed with their pitchforks and scythes. All eyes were trained on the harbor. The longship's crew had furled their sail, and now the slender oars sliced through the waves. One final pull, and the oars sprang straight up as the sleek hull glided onto the beach. Osa shivered as warriors leaped over the side and splashed ashore, helmets flashing in the sun, bristling with swords and spears. The strangers marched up the long hill. Their leader stood a head above them all. He strode with a lanky grace, bearing his weapons as if they weighed nothing, battle helm in the crook of his arm. Behind him, a warrior bore a red banner that snapped in the breeze. "A little small for a raiding party," Jarl Borg remarked. The aged Jarl was Harald's longtime friend and mentor, and nowadays he spent more time on Tremé than on his own lands. Harald nodded. "Gudrod's men," he murmured, gazing at the banner's emblem. He touched his sword hilt uneasily. "I haven't seen him in 20 years. The tall leader halted his party within shouting distance of the hall. "Harald, King of Agder, I am Olaf, son of King Gudrod of Boa. My father sends greetings to his old friend." Olaf was fair-haired, strongly built and handsome, somewhere near Gerd's age. Osa found herself hoping they wouldn't have to kill him. "Welcome, Olaf Gudrosson," Harald said. "I've had no word from your father in many years. What brings you and your war party to my island?" Olaf turned to survey his men. "We are no war party," he said. "These are only my escort. Sea travel is perilous these days." "Perilous indeed," Harald agreed, and waited. Osa's hopes for battle began to fade. "My father sends us in peace, with offers of friendship and goodwill," Olaf continued. "Well then," said Harald, "lay down your arms and enter my hall as guests." He turned and nodded to his men. Osa's heart slowed to a trudge. A feast was required, and she would have to prepare it. She bit back her disappointment and relinquished her weapons to Brenna, who had been behind her all along. Stepping forward, she pulled off her helm and forced a smile. She found herself gazing up into hazel eyes framed by lush blonde lashes. A flush crept over her face as she tried not to stutter. "Welcome to our hall, Olaf Gudrosson. I am Osa Haraldsdottir." His gaze locked on to hers, and she saw him swallow. A blush